Is celebrity boxing the best intentional train wreck on the planet? Celebrity boxing has been thrilling fans for almost 25 years. Featuring host Christopher Bruce and founder Damon Feldman, and an entourage of special guests. You'll be up to date on the latest fights and get insights to some of the biggest moments. Join us as we laugh out loud, debate, and give you access to the world of celebrity boxing like never before. It's about time. It's the official Celebrity Boxing Podcast. Be a part of the conversation. Hey, what's shaking world? I am your host, Christopher Bruce, and welcome, as always, to the official Celebrity Boxing Podcast. And yes, we are coming off the Clash in the Metaverse. History was made last Friday night with official celebrity boxing changing the way combat sports could be done. It was one of the biggest moments in official celebrity boxing history for sure, and the future looks bright. Today on the show, we have UFC champion and Hall of Famer Mark the Hammer Coleman on talking about his return and upcoming match against Montell Griffin. We will also be chatting with Love and Hip Hop's own Cisco Rosado, and even give you a tease on how official celebrity boxing is turning the ring into a stage. This is the official Celebrity Boxing Podcast. Hey, what's happening, world? Welcome to the official Celebrity Boxing Podcast. Of course, I am your host, Christopher Bruce, alongside the man, the myth, the legend, my buddy, Damon Feldman, and the founder of official celebrity boxing. Man, I tell you what, you've got us on a roller coaster ride, and it's fun right now.
Oh, man, it's really great. It's incredible, and great things are coming.
A lot of big things, including the guest on this show.
Oh, man, I can't wait. This isn't just any guest.
Hall of
Guy,
Famer.
he's a Hall of Famer.
Coming out of retirement.
The first ever UFC heavyweight champion.
Hold on a second. Say it slower. The first
ever UFC heavyweight champion.
That's a beautiful thing.
You say his name.
Oh, my God. I will in a second. It's Mark Coleman.
No.
What?
Mark the Hammer Coleman.
That's how you say it. And this is the
I had to
official
do that.
Celebrity Boxing Podcast. All right, Damon, this is going to be a great show. I'm excited to get this hammer. I don't know if we're going to end up with a whole tool bag by the time we're done with it, but I know we're going to have a fierce hammer.
He'll
we're
knock
going to be getting to
someone's
work.
head off with his hands.
Well, he doesn't need a hammer. I feel like he can just go at it with any part of his body and make it work.
This guy is a machine. That's it.
Well, let's get this machine in. Mark the Hammer Coleman, how are you, sir? Good to have you on the show.
Right, man. I'm fucking fantastic. Never been better. I am glowing. Look at that fist. It's been getting bigger.
Oh, man. You are glowing and showing. I love it, man. It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun seeing all the little promos and things you've been putting together. You really seem like you've been revitalized in a lot of ways. I'd love to see your spirit. You're just kind of coming at it. How are you feeling right now?
I'm telling you what, I've never felt better. Honestly, because my mind has never been this clear, has never been this focused. It's never been this strong. I got two years, 2 months sober, and my mind gets clearer and more focused every day. And physically, I've been at it since January 1st. I haven't had a day off since January 1st. We're talking up to 6-8 hours of activity a day, and everything's working, man. All my body parts are working. Everybody's worried about my knees. My knees are super strong. My ankles were sore as hell at the beginning. I've walked literally, I don't know how many thousands of miles, not just walk, advanced walk, man. I got the egg weights in my hands. I'm walking backwards. I'm walking up hills. I'm walking sideways. I got all the ligaments and cartilage in my knees and ankles back. My hips, I'm going to have to be honest with you. That's what I'm here for. I'm not afraid, but I'm afraid to not find out. And my hips are that one question mark. I'm not sure what we'll find out. But
Yeah.
my shoulders were beat to hell when I started this. My shoulders were tiny. They were fragile and beat to hell. They're growing like flowers. They got all three heads on them, and they're getting strong. My punches are getting so much stronger, so much faster, so much quicker. I'll never be as fast as Montell Griffin, but that's all right, man. I don't have to be as fast as him.
But you're in shape, man. Montell's great.
Yeah.
So you just brought his name up. Yes, the big fight he's taking on former WBC light heavyweight champion. He's the man who gave Roy Jones Jr. his first loss. Montell Ice Griffin.
Yeah,
he's going to be taking on Mark Coleman. We got to bring you both on the podcast soon.
We'll definitely down the road. We're going to have both of you guys on together. And Montell, obviously a friend of celebrity boxing. You know, he's been able to, kind of take part in a couple ways, and we're really excited to have him on the card. When his name came up after, you had already been on, and we were looking forward to who's he going to take on.
Yeah.
That was seemingly the perfect fit, and it's going to be a great match. And honestly, you look like you're reverse aging. There's a secret in the sauce, whatever you're doing, and a lot of it seems like it's mindset, and it's just the willingness to go to work and push yourself.
Well, first of all, getting sober. None of this is possible without getting sober, but I could do anything if I just stay sober. But I'm doing the carnivore diet, the 9 ancestral tenets. I fast every day. Maybe we'll say 6 out of 7 days a week. I 24-hour fast since January 1st. I did transform. I am reverse aging. I'm going to this advanced medical place, Dublin, hyperbaric therapy of Dublin, Ohio. And I'm sitting in a hyperbaric chamber at least 2 to 3 days a week for an hour and a half each time. I'm putting in the time.
Yeah,
I got this thing called EBU.
That's some serious work.
They take the blood out of one arm. They put it through a machine. It cleans all the shit out of the blood. And I have a lot of shit in my blood. And they put it back in the other arm. That is truly amazing. That in itself. I went in there with a real sore shoulder. And this treatment, by the time 1 hour later, my shoulder had zero pain, man. It was unbelievable.
That's amazing.
I'm also getting the big one. I'm getting me 1 billion stem cells. I've already got some stem cells in me, but I'm getting 1 billion more real soon. And I'm excited about that. The hot and cold plunge, it literally changed my life. I get up every morning and I'm getting that cold shower right away. And I get cold 6 to 8 times a day, because whenever I start running out of energy, the cold plunge it's the best energy drink ever. Way better than Red Bull. I just go, man. I just go. I mean, I almost feel like getting out of my car right now and walking, man. It's hard for me to sit still. And then at nighttime, the sleep is amazing. And I heal up, because I'm so damn sore right now. But the body is amazing what it can do. I got some more working out to do tonight. But then
I want to say something. Can I say something?
No.
When you wake up in the morning and all of a sudden I check Instagram and all of a sudden, and I'm here, and I was like, man, Mark just wakes you up. You know what I mean?
No, it's
you don't need anybody. You don't need anything else. Go to Mark Coleman's page, and you'll be motivated for the day. And I'm like, damn, this guy won't stop.
You go to your social channel, and if you don't come out of that more inspired or motivated or like, you know what, I don't care what I was complaining about earlier, I'm going to get after it. You really are giving people that jolt. It's awesome.
I just can't. I used to be a negative person. I used to complain I was negative. Kevin the Monster Randleman, he couldn't stand me for that, man. We was best friends, but he couldn't stand my negativity. And, oh, my God, now I understand what the hell that guy went through hanging out with me, because I'm not dealing with no negativity. I'm not dealing with any of it from anybody. You would just stay the fuck away from me. That's it. And complaining? What's there to complain about, man? I'm not doing this for the money. Of course I want paid. Who the fuck don't? I'm doing this because I want to find out what I can do. That's it. I'm not afraid.
I love it, man.
I'm afraid
love
to
it.
not find out. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm going to turn every stone I can. That's it.
Yeah, and with that, what do you say to those people? Because there's a lot of people, when they heard that you were coming out of retirement, that were saying, man, stay retired. What are you doing? this is going to ruin your legacy. What do you tell those people?
That they're not me. Fine. I am having a blast. Everybody's telling me to enjoy life. Oh my God, I've never, ever enjoyed life more than I do today. And I love working out. I walk 10 to 15 miles a day. It's not just walking, it's advanced walking, man. I'm back. I'm put back together. I'm doing the sparring. I'm doing everything. I'm excited about this. Montell Griffin, I was a big fan of his. Even in the 92 Olympics, I followed the boxing team, so I remembered him. You know what I mean? I was pulling for him. And it's just, I'm not going to act like there's any kind of hate here. So far, there's no hate. He hasn't said nothing bad about me. Too bad yet. He can't say nothing. I don't care what the fuck he says about me. I'm going to try to knock him out, and I fully expect him to try to knock me out. That's just the way I roll.
It's an interesting matchup. You're both it's like battle of 92 Olympians, battle of the former world champions. I mean, there's so much to sell here, man. And you guys are both great guys making comebacks. Your story is phenomenal. His is, but you motivate every single day, man. To have you on board here, honestly, because I was a fan of yours and I was a fan of his. Like seeing you both fight and you making this unbelievable comeback, man, and to be part of it is amazing, Mark.
Well, I followed you for a long time, Damon, and I've always liked you. And
thank you.
We tried to, maybe we would do the MMA celebrity MMA someday, but no, I mean it's just perfect timing, perfect fit, and why am I doing this? People say, why are you doing this? Hey, guess what? Because I can! I fucking can! And you can't! Get it?
Yeah, I love it.
I can do this! That's why! That's simple!
This could be the biggest comeback in UFC history, really.
I mean, honestly, it
Biggest comeback in combat sports history!
Combat sports.
Come on, Damon. Think bigger. Think bigger, Damon.
Yeah.
And they really,
I
mean,
Mark.
it's a big deal. You're the second of a 5-fight deal. Big deal with Fight TV and official celebrity boxing. You know, you're obviously coming off of the Clash in the Metaverse, which was a huge deal with Roy Jones Jr., an NDO champ, and you're the next up on that list. Like, your name's going to be in there in lights, up front and center. People are going to be talking about it, buzzing about it. What do you got to do to prepare yourself? What are you kind of, doing to get yourself ready for this and taking this challenge on?
Physically or for the buzz?
Well, a little bit of both, I guess. I mean, obviously, you're getting your body ready, right? But then there's the other side of it. So talk about both.
Look. I'm telling you, Mark Coleman is the smoothest, coolest, straightest fucker ever right now. There's nothing to get ready. It'll all fall into place, and that's it. It's in my higher power's hands, and well, okay, I'll tell you what. So I'm looking to go to training camp. I'm getting sponsors. I'm going to get some sponsors. Liver King's going to be at the fight. He's a damn good friend of mine. And all these fucks that talk shit about him, I could care less. If you ain't lied, you're a fucking liar. Anyway.
Should we bring him in as the ref?
You can do it. He's ecstatic about this. He'll do whatever the hell you ask. He will be there, and he is going to help me get through this camp.
That's awesome,
as soon as we work the details out, I'm jumping up and I'm flying out to Vegas, and I'm locking myself into Palace Station because that's where I had my best training camps for the UFC. I locked myself in the Palace Station, do not disturb, and I turn my room into a dungeon, and I'm gonna train like never before. And that's saying a lot because I trained my ass off when I was focused and sober all the way through until I fell off the wagon. My fight career, my amateur wrestling career, I was sober. I gave it everything a man could have. My fight career was shattered. You could tell when I drank and when I lost. It was very obvious. And when I trained, things went very, very fucking well. So that's it. I've done this before. I've done this. This is what I've done it's what I've done my whole life. I don't have to prepare. It's just going to fall into place.
Hey, we're just excited to Celebrity Boxing is able to put on the comeback of Mark Coleman.
That's a big deal.
That says it all right there.
That's huge.
Well,
Now, Mark, real quick.
I'm really trying to reach out to one of my fucking heroes, and honestly, Lyric King and Mike Tyson. Tyson, his comeback. I was licking my chops when he came back because I followed his career. I love this man. Everything about this guy. I followed him. I looked up to this guy. I wanted to be like Mike Tyson. I also wanted to fight him and beat his ass. But in MMA, of course, I would not be. Hey, if you told me I was fighting Mike Tyson October 14th, I'm going to tell you what. I'd be lying if I wouldn't say I was very scared. That fucker's the baddest man ever when it comes to right hook to the body. I want to hit Montell Griffin with a right hook to the body, step off, and pop him with an uppercut. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to get a chance to see you try to make that happen for sure. Now, real quick, let's take a look back. I mean, you got a huge legendary career. Give us maybe a couple moments that you look back and you just say, wow, that was one of the best moments of my career. Can you give us a couple nuggets? Really just look back and pull something good.
Well, I've narrowed it down, man. I used to have like 4 of them that I tried to say they were all number one, but then if I'm being honest with myself, because, I tried to say UFC beating Dan Severn. I used to say that was number one, tied with this one. But the truth is, after getting, I became the champ, and then I got fucking humbled. 3 straight losses, knee surgery, all this shit happened, and the whole world. This is what drives me is these fucking haters. I love my fans to death. They drive me. I'm doing this for them. But I love these haters that say I can't do this shit. And after I lost, they fucking all came out. Mark Coleman's in the Pride Grand Prix. He ain't got 0 chance. Guess what? I didn't drink for 9 months. I trained my fucking ass off. Mark Coleman ain't got no cardio. Well, guess what? I was drinking. Check this out. I could have went all day with fucking Igor Vovchanchyn. I fucking, although they tried to stack the deck against me, Pride did not want me to win that. They made kneeing a guy on the head when he's on his knees on the ground. They made it illegal just right before the fucking fight. And that was my way. That was the one way I was going to fucking finish him. I visualized it many times, at least fuck him up. But they said if he's on his back, you can knee him. But how you going to get somebody on their back? You know what I mean? It's stuck in everything just was magically. I did it, but it seemed magic how I stuck him in the corner. His feet were stuck in the ropes, and I violently, that was the most violent moment of my life. 16 fucking knees to his head. I was starting to get nervous. My knee was throbbing. This fucker was not going to tap. And I was like, well, what? I started to believe maybe he's not human. You know what I mean? But then finally, I felt this guy tap. And that was by far the highest I've ever been in my life, athletically. Awesome. And then Dan Severn will be second. And then Don Fry whooping him was right there with second. And then when I made the Olympic team, it was a very close feeling to what I had with Igor. It's hard to separate them two. When I made the Olympic team, I felt like I belonged in this world.
Yeah, that's an honor for any athlete to be able to wear the stars and stripes to represent the country. What was it like? I mean, you walked through the...
Well, he's a Hall of Famer, too.
We get there, the opening ceremony, just the Olympic environment. Can you describe that? Because it is very different, right, than a lot of the other things you probably took part in.
Well, I tell you what, man, I was not your typical wrestler. I had to move up to 220 pounds because I couldn't beat the 198-pounder that had come out of retirement just before the Olympics, Chris Campbell. I knew I couldn't beat that guy, so I was like a heavyweight. I was eating all day, drinking and eating all day to stay at 220 pounds. It was frustrating. So we got to Barcelona, and it's 100 degrees. There's no ACs in the village, and I'm sweating and losing weight, and I'm panicking, man, because all I cared about was winning the freaking gold. And we're there, and they said, let's go. Opening ceremonies. Get your outfit on, Coleman. I said, I'm not going to the stupid opening ceremonies. I'm not fucking going. Now leave me alone. So they just kept sending higher ups into the room, and I just kept saying no. But then they sent Bruce Baumgartner, our 2-time Olympic gold medalist heavyweight, who I have to practice with every day. And no, that's one man that I couldn't beat. Not even going to think about saying something like that. But he come in and told me to get up and get my shit on, and I'm so glad that I listened, because when we got there, when we walked in, man, we were the last. Wrestling was last on USA. So we were at the very end, and the cameras were on the inside lane of the track. They wanted us standing like eight wide. Well, us wrestlers are so camera hungry. We went single file to and these security were trying to get us to. No, we ain't listening, and I actually did make it on opening ceremonies for like a half a second, man. So yeah, it was. Oh man, it was. I'm so glad I made it, but at the same time, I choked. I choked at the Olympics. I lost to 2 guys I had beaten. I took second in the world the year before. I lost to 2 guys I had beaten the year before. I ended up 7th place, but that threw me into a 3-year fucking hiatus. I left wrestling for 3 years. I never missed a weight room session though. So without the wrestling and add the weightlifting, I was getting huge. I was getting stronger than I already was. And I'll be honest with you, I have multiple people that have fought me or wrestled me who say they've never touched anybody as strong as me. I was freakishly strong. And, awesome. And we'll leave it at that.
I remember you, man. You were an animal, man. There's no doubt.
There's no doubt. I mean, there's a reason why you're a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? And, talk a little bit about that honor. And yeah, stay a little, like, right there from the camera. Don't get too close if you can help it. And tell us what it was like for you. I don't know where you were when you found out you were getting in the Hall of Fame. We love it. You can go wherever you want, Mark. You're a Hall of Famer. What am I going to tell you?
Whatever you say, Mark.
But tell us about that. That had to be a cool moment when you got yourself, inducted. And just, what did that mean to you? And where were you when you found out?
All right. Well, here's another story. Basically, I'm sitting in my house in Columbus, Ohio. UFC bought Pride, and I'm still looking to fight. I'm 44 years old, and Dana White threw me on the shelf because I decided to fight Fedor for a big paycheck instead of signing with UFC and Dana at the time. And Dana was pissed. And then they bought Pride, and I'm out of a job. I'm 44, and out of nowhere, Wes Sims does an interview and says, my buddy Wes Sims says, UFC's coming to Columbus, and they're inducting Coleman into the Hall of Fame. He made it up, but it made waves so big that the UFC decided to put me in, number 5, fifth guy in,
awesome.
In Columbus. But Joe Silva called me up, and he told me about it, and I said, he said, well, we're going to put you in the Hall of Fame, Coleman. I honestly just said, well, that's cool, Joe, but I want to fight. I don't care about the Hall of Fame. I didn't care. So they didn't offer me a fight. Anyways, it gets one day before the induction, and Joe Silva called me up and said, hey, Coleman, 4-fight deal. Don't try to negotiate. Take it or leave it. And you're fighting Brock Lesnar. And I'm already heading down to 205. I'm only weighing 225 now. And they tell me Brock Lesnar. And, of course, I say, all right. But everything happens for a reason. I blew my knee out in practice, so that fight got scratched. And then I ended up coming back and fighting Shogun Hua over in Ireland. But I was battling the bottle for that fight. If I would have got off the bottle for that fight, I destroy Shogun Hua. And then I fight Chuck Liddell next, because Shogun Hua beat me, and he knocks out Chuck next. But everything, that could have been me. the bottom. Nothing ever good happened to me in my life.
Yeah, but it did, because you have 2 great kids, man. You're a great father, too.
No, I'm saying a lot of good things happened, just not when I was drunk.
Yeah. Oh,
the bottle.
100%,
Yeah,
Mark.
the bottle is the thing.
Been there, man.
The message here today
You're
is,
a motivator.
Hey, guys, lay off the sauce, live your life.
Yep,
Put the bottle down. Don't be a coward. Sober is cool as fuck. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. Nothing good ever happens. You make a fool of yourself. It's black and white, man. It's black and white. I did it for years, and it's horrible, horrible. And I'm so blessed that I fucking got through it. I went to rehab, changed my life. I saved my life, but now I have the skills to live in this world sober, and I have never been happier. Get help, man. Get help.
You're here. Hey, man.
Yeah.
And listen, you're going to be part of celebrity boxing history here. We're so excited to have you, man. A lot of great things are coming, and this is only the start.
Yeah, it's really just the beginning, man. Mark the Hammer Coleman. We can't be more thrilled to have you on this thing. You're going to be taking on Montell Griffin. That's the next big fight. Everybody should be getting excited about that. I know, Mark, we're going to be following you on your journey as you get yourself ready. Can't wait to see you really dial it in. You're going to get in your dungeon. You're gonna buckle down whatever it is you're going to do on your training journey. But I know it's going to be intense. You're going to be all in, committed, and you're going to be bringing it.
All right, guys, man, I had a blast.
Yeah, you too.
Apologize if I was too excited and brought it too close to the camera.
Let's do it. Let's go. LFG.
LFG, as Damon wants to say. And then one last
love
thing,
you, Mark. Let's go.
What do you have to say to the people, everybody out there, as we gear up for your fight? What do you want to tell them? What's the message?
Hey, man, don't worry about Mark Coleman. Please don't worry about me. Too many negative comments out there. I'm going to be fine. This ain't my first rodeo. I'm doing everything I can. I will be fine. I will survive. Maybe I find a way to knock this guy out. I will get through 5 rounds. I promise you that. And I love my fans more than that. I have so many loyal fans. You motivate me. I'm doing this for you. I'm doing it for me. But I'm doing it for you because you guys care. And I care about you.
You're the man. Maybe we get
Celebrity boxing. Thank you, Celebrity Boxing. I appreciate this opportunity. Huge opportunity. I'm taking this as serious as the Pride Grand Prix. More serious, because I wasn't that serious back in my fight days. I'm way more serious about fighting now. Or just living life, man. I don't need this. I don't need this to be happy. I'm doing this because I can. I fucking can. That's it.
Yeah, I love that. And
it's coming.
And Damon, you were sort of starting to make a move here. Maybe we pull Mike Tyson as the referee. That's a good idea. I don't know.
Who would you want? Who would be the perfect referee for this fight?
And hopefully, I can get just a weekend with his knowledge and wisdom. Just a week with his wisdom, and if he tells me I'm a turd, I still won't believe it. But that's okay. He can tell me I'm a turd. But I just moved to the next guy because I always get better rapidly. Yeah. I may look like a turd now, but wait 4 months. Wait, the titties will not be shaking in 4 months. My titties is the hardest thing to get back, man. My chest, boy. Woo! But I'm working it.
You're getting there, man. We are so excited to have you, Mark, and thank you very much for coming on.
Absolutely, Mark. Stay awesome. Great to have you on the show. We appreciate you. We're going to be rooting for you all the way, and I know we're going to be checking in with you and kind of keeping track of your progress as you gear up for your match coming up here on Fight TV with Official Celebrity Boxing.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Mark, I'll be in touch, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey, what's shaking, everybody? And Damon, Feldman, and myself want to take a second to talk a little bit about how celebrity boxing is really branching out. Also, in the same moment that he is very indecisive on whether to wear his hat or not. This, I thought, would be a lot of fun. Hey, so we got music, we've got comedy, we've got boxing, we got all kinds of stuff going on. People are like, wait a minute, how is celebrity boxing doing all this? And the simple answer is that we're turning the ring into a stage. Man. But talk about it. This is exciting.
Yo, Chris, honestly, I am so excited about this because the ring is actually becoming the stage for giving all these people opportunities to perform in the ring as the stage.
Right.
Especially with the comedy, because the new Celebrity Boxing presents Roast in the Ring. We're going to give comedians the opportunity to, like it's a boxing match, doing the face-off at the press conference. They'll do the face-off. They'll fight. They'll get in the ring. They're not fighting. They're going to roast each other in the ring. It's the whole boxing build-up. And the whole boxing build-up gets you all the exposure, makes you famous overnight, and that's what celebrity boxing is all about.
Yeah, people are looking for opportunities, right?
Oh,
and that's what we're doing. Is we're creating opportunities for individuals, for artists, for comedians to be able to showcase, to shine in a way that they couldn't before.
Well, even with the music artists, the artists are going to get the same opportunity to perform, their opportunity to get in the stage. I'm so hyped up about it. You know, Supreme the Resurrected is, you know, partner with this, helping us out, make this blow it up.
Absolutely.
This is really getting like serious stuff. Like, I was like,
I've been seeing it. So you got artists coming out with original music, leading out each of the fighters, getting a chance to showcase. And obviously, every time we're getting video clips, and it's great content for their social. But it's really creating an opportunity that didn't exist before.
Everything's social media now. And this new Roast in the Ring, Celebrity Boxing presents Battle of Comedians. We're going to do comedy fight night. They're going to get their chance, man.
These comedians are going to be on the ropes.
Bro, literally on the ropes. It is literally, without a doubt, the hottest new concept in comedy, and I'm so excited, man. And we're talking about it on the podcast.
We're shaking it up, and we just want to give you a little taste of that. So if you're curious, if you're a comedian, if you're an artist, reach out to Official Celebrity Boxing, and who knows, maybe you end up in the ring, showcasing, showing the world what you've got. We'd love to see it.
Let's go.
Hey guys, just like we told you, big time guest on this show today. Damon, I even wore something a little nicer for you. What do you think?
Well, you still don't have a celebrity boxing shirt, man.
Well, it's at least
you had
on
to
brand.
You had to let me yours for today's show,
well,
man.
This is where we're at. I can't even get my own shirt. That's where we're on the show, but that's okay. More importantly, we've got Cisco on the show. Cisco, how are you, man? It's really exciting to have you on. I want to talk a little bit about everything you've done related to celebrity boxing, obviously, and more. You and Damon have been going back and doing this thing for a minute, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad we're having this conversation, because I think this is a perfect time for Damon to publicly address that I am the second person that he signed to celebrity boxing. So let's understand. I want everybody out there to understand and be clear on that. It was Lamar Odom, and then it was me. Right. So
well, let me tell the story.
I'm at please tell the story, Damon.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you got to tell the story. So
right,
it's really. Well, when I knew who he was from Love and Hip Hop, and so I was like, come on, is this another guy? Like, first Lamar agreed, we signed him, and it was really him. It was like, oh, Cisco, yeah, what's up, man? We started talking, and he said, when to get on board. This is in the resurgence of celebrity boxing after the pandemic, and I signed him. I was like, damn, he really wants to do it. We had talks, and we're pretty good friends now. I mean, he's a good guy, and we're both family guys, and he became a celebrity boxing heavyweight champion. He's
current 2-0. Champion.
He's the current celebrity boxing heavyweight champion. 2-0, and he's from Atlanta. He's going to fight the main event in Atlanta for our next celebrity boxing event when we come out there. And Cisco Rosado, man, it's just great to have you.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. So let it be known, record shown. Second man to sign right here. Yes. It's on record. There it is. Glad we could clear that up.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, once he came on board, then all of a sudden Peter Guns came on board.
Right.
Then Rich Dallas came on board. Then all the girls from Love and Hip Hop came on board. All of a sudden, I'm like, damn, man, I'm going to bend up. I said, when am I going to be on Love and Hip Hop?
And listen, hey, rest in peace, Aaron Carter.
Aaron Carter,
yeah. You know,
that's a shame, and that was terrible for everything.
Oh yeah, that was really. And let me tell you something. The crazy part, and I'm a music guy. I come from music, as a songwriter and a music producer. I did not realize that Aaron Carter was like one of the leads of the Backstreet Boys. I didn't know that. I thought he was like related to them. I didn't know that was him. And I recently just happened to be. My daughter was watching that song, I love it that way. And
that's his brother. That
wasn't him?
No, Nick Carter. Nick Carter's with the Backstreet Boys. Aaron did his own thing, and he's the guy who did the thing with Shaq, the big song with Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, so, and we can clean that up, so don't worry about it. So ultimately, Aaron Carter, obviously, rest in peace. I mean, it's devastating with what happened with that. But it was really great to see him enjoying the platform. I know he was really into his experience with celebrity boxing when he was a part of it. And like you talk about some great moments. He brought, him and Shaq teamed up. That's a classic moment right there, and all those things. And what we're doing now is continuing to build on the legacy of those who came before, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what we're here to do. You right now, obviously the current champ, heavyweight champ, holding down the belt. You're going to be defending that title coming up here in a little bit down in Atlanta, and that's exciting. So what are you kind of thinking about right now as you prepare for that? And ultimately, what is it about official celebrity boxing that just kind of brings everybody together and keeps you coming back?
Well, look, I mean, there's a very thin line between sports and entertainment. To me, it's one and the same, right? Because, you pay these high tickets to go watch these events, whether it's boxing or whether it's an artist performing, to be entertained. So I think for me, it all fell right in line with just my natural interests. I've always been into boxing. It's my favorite sport. I follow it religiously, on a professional level. So when the opportunity came, I was just all in. I said, this is an opportunity for me to kind of share both my passions, and be successful at it. I told Damon from the beginning, I said, if I do this, I want to win the heavyweight title. That was my plan from the beginning. And to be honest, I didn't train the way I should have for my first fight against Peter. I didn't really like my performance, even though I won. But what it did was give me the opportunity to really embrace it, see the live crowd, see the momentum, embrace the energy, and it gave me all the motivation I needed to start training hard for real, to keep going forward, win the title, and stay on top of the throne. And that's where I'm at.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you definitely shined, and you're going to shine more. And you're part of celebrity. Like, I feel if you weren't part of celebrity boxing, I wouldn't feel right. Like when I went to Atlanta, I knew I had to see you. You know what I mean? Like you're Cisco Rosado, man. And
I mean, you're part of the family now. That's how it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're this dude he's a great guy, and he's a great. The number one thing is a great father. He's really in his kids' lives. It's important. Yes. And he's just a real nice guy, man. We went out to dinner, a nice place, man.
Awesome.
It was people coming up to him. They love him. They love this dude. So it's really great to have him.
And let's talk about some of that, right? Because people, there are a lot of fans out there of yours that have followed you in your career. Let's talk about some of your highlights, some of the things that maybe stood out to you, some of the things that maybe people wouldn't know about your time on some of these shows. So can you give us maybe a little nugget, little back look into the world of Cisco and kind of what makes it work?
Sure, man. I started in the entertainment industry literally from the bottom. I started when I was about 21 years old. I was a bodyguard for like artists and DJs and stuff like that. And I just really just worked my way through the record labels and, working. I did some marketing for Crystal Isaacs at Atlantic Records, and I went over to Def Jam with her, and then I met, the guys who ran Def Jam and Rock Nation at that point, I believe. And then that kind of led into my music production and songwriting. So, I was able to produce for a lot of successful artists and songwrite. Had my own room at Rock Nation Studios for about 4 years that I worked out of. So, got a good chance to work with a lot of top people. And then, for me, the goal was always television and film. And that kind of was my segue into it. It's funny, because I just got off the phone with Mona Scott Young. Shout out to Mona Scott Young. I was just talking to Mona about an hour ago about another project. But that's how I met Mona, through the music. And she said, hey, I got this TV show. It's called Love and Hip Hop. Life and times of music producers and rappers and how they deal with their relationships with their girlfriends. And, originally she came to me and said, can you make some music for the show? And I did. And I made a record called Devil for Tahiri that I wrote and produced. And then once I did that, she kind of took a closer glimpse into my personal life and started to say, okay, there's some interesting stuff going on in there and your personality's interest. Why don't you come join the cast? And that's how I got on originally in 2013.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
So that's kind of cool. Man. So what's the takeaway there for those that are listening? If you're working your way through the industry, you talked about how you segued your music career and took it into film and television, which was ultimately your goal, right? So what would you tell other artists out there that are trying to make it happen for them? Because it's tough right now. The business is much different than it used to be.
It's a great question. It was funny, I was having a conversation with someone yesterday. about the same subject matter, right? And this was my response then, and it was my response now. I think I'm just using it as an analogy. I think it's my personal opinion. I think the most talented basketball player in history is Michael Jordan. But I think the greatest basketball player in history was Kobe Bryant. And the difference being, in my opinion, was by far everyone talks about the dedication and the consistent hard work that Kobe Bryant put into his craft every day, of his life. And I think that's what greatness is. And I think that's the key to achieving greatness. Talent will get you but so far. So to all the artists out there, when I get DMs and stop me in the street and tell me how talented you are, that's great. But it will get you but so far. The consistent work ethic that you put into your craft, into your career, the relentlessness of how hard you're going to pursue it and how you're going to dedicate yourself every day. That's what will make you successful, and that's what will make you great. So that's what the main message I would put out there to people. It's a constant grind, and you got to be willing to outwork everybody around you in order to, become successful and just surpass everybody in your circle.
Yeah, man, it's all about hunger and dedication,
Absolutely.
right? You got to show up every time. You can't do it when it's convenient. You've got to be there consistently time after time. And they say it all the time, right? It's all about you show somebody who's lucky, right?
Yeah.
And it's more, the reality is that person put themselves in the right place more often than the next person to get lucky.
Well, they have a strategy too. I think it's all about strategy
Absolutely.
too. So
when it all works, right? Sometimes, sometimes you can just get lucky. But for the average person, it's going to take consistent effort to be able to put yourself forward and to push and propel yourself in the direction.
Absolutely. And I think Damon Feldman is a great example of that. I remember when Damon Feldman, when I first met him, he was just relaunching this whole celebrity boxing thing. A lot of people don't realize that he was the guy that kind of built it before, and he came back all these years later and decided to rebuild it. And and I was joking with Damon, the other night when we had dinner. I said, I remember when you signed Lamar Odom behind the lunch table. You know what I mean? He was joking. It wasn't a lunch table, but the point was, I saw him build it from start to like being in these stadiums that are huge, and there's thousands of people in the audience, and we're on television, and there's dressing rooms, and heavyweight champion of the world, or former heavyweight champions are in my dressing room. Like, I saw the progression of that, but I know it just came from Damon's hard work. Like, he's a perfect example as well of someone who's just relentless and dedicated to building his business and building what he loves, and you could see the growth of it from now, from then to now.
No
definitely.
question about
I'm excited about what you said. I appreciate that. And it's crazy because you brought one of my favorite guys, Shannon Briggs. All of a sudden, Shannon's calling me, oh man, I'm going to train Cisco. I was like, what? It's like, let's go champ. You know what I mean? I love Shannon, man. And it was just crazy. And it was crazy, that run. But it was a run. Now it was more for the hype. Like when you started and all the other guys, part of this. Now I'm all about the business, trying to build the business up.
Right.
That all added to like blowing celebrity boxing name up. And now it's all about, taking this and just make the business, bloom.
Cisco, I agree with you, man. Damon is really a great example of perseverance, of a guy who had a mission and a goal and was not going to take no for an answer. There was no option.
Well, I learned from hitting brick walls, man. And when the time I hit the brick wall, stupid mistake, jail made me successful. I hate to say it, drinking, and I haven't had a drink in 7 years. When I realized what that real mistake was, and I couldn't see my kids, that ended it. I knew that's the change.
Well, that immediately shifted your focus, and it reshaped your priorities and your perception of, all right, now I've got a new outlook, a new, your lens was a different lens. I mean, you were looking through a lens one day, and then everything happened, and when you looked at it the next day, it was different.
Let me tell you something, guys. My dad was my hero, and he died while I was in jail. That's the stupidest mistake of my life.
I didn't know that.
And I couldn't say bye to my dad, man. And honestly, that hurt, but it woke my ass up. And woke me up and say, you got to be a dad. You got to wake your ass up. And haven't had a drink, and my life's just been on a good thing. You know, you always hit brick walls, but meeting guys like Cisco Rosado motivates you, man. This guy's a big time producer. You know, Herb Middleton, all these other guys, and I'm into music now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, all of a sudden meeting you,
just
you guys,
like that.
I'm a music guy now. Like,
and Cisco, this is the thing. We've been on a run, and this is gonna happen. So I know you'll be excited about this. We're going to be getting Damon in the booth, and we're going to be getting him in. We're going to be laying down a track. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I know that with us all working behind him, it's going to be great.
Well, you heard me rap a little. Come on, I'm not going to rap again for Cisco, but I can rap a little. I'm
just telling you, Cisco, just wait, and we get this going, and maybe we could all be working on something together. I'm sure as well. But dude, I'm proud of you, man. And that's perspective is a beautiful thing.
It is
if you're able to embrace it.
Well, it gets me, everything I'm doing now. I mean, I'm sitting on one of the big reality stars. He also has this TV show coming out on MTV. Tell everyone about that as well.
Share that.
I got thanks for the segue on that. I forgot. So I got a new show coming out on MTV tomorrow called Run It Back. It's basically like a talk show. It's commentary. It's hilarious. I want you guys all to check it out. It gives me a great opportunity to kind of just really just dive into my comedic side, which is like my favorite, genre of television to do, because I'm really a funny guy at heart. So, shout out to Peter Guns, shout out to Rich Dollars, the Creep Squad. We do all the segments together, and it's great. My first show, that I'm a part of on MTV, and, I'm excited about it. So please check it out tomorrow, Tuesday night. It's at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, man.
All right,
congrats.
so when that, and where can they find it? Where can they check it out again? Right on MTV?
Yeah, right on
MTV, so you're going to check that out.
Yeah, not MTV Digital, no shit like that. Like on actual MTV at 8 o'clock, we are the New Jersey Shore. Shout out to Ronnie G and The Situation and all those guys. I don't really know their names, but me, Peter Guns, and Rich Dollars are the New Jersey Shore. That's right. We're the Black Jersey Shore. We're coming to take over MTV Tuesday nights, and I'm the heavyweight champion of the world.
LFG, let's go, LFG.
And listen, whether the world is ready for that or not, it doesn't matter. It's happening either way.
Hold on, I got to ask you one thing, though. Hold on. So on the new show, are you guys still going to be the Creek Squad? Creek Squad?
Yeah, the problem is, man, that I think we have this brotherhood that's infectious, right? and like when we're on television together, the people just can't get enough of it. I think we just did another show before that called Family Reunion, where it was the same thing. It's almost like the commercial will say, new show coming this season. Coming this summer. Stevie J, Erica Mena, Safari, and featuring the Creep Squad. It's almost like
it's awesome,
that.
Man.
The group that we formed kind of even supersedes us individually. So now like the network Viacom, shout out to Viacom, they have us doing a lot of our work together, almost as like, an R&B group, you know what I mean? Like we are the Backstreet Boys now, instead of just like individuals. But I love it. Like I said, I love to showcase the brotherhood that we have, because we're really all best friends in real life. You know what I mean? So
you guys hit heads too, man. You guys hit heads too. You guys have your grudges. It's funny, man.
Yeah.
And even with celebrity boxing, like, bro, it's like funny. Like we have Cisco was fighting. Also, he's fighting Peter. Rich was the referee, and it was crazy. The Creek guys on the ring. Then other fights, if Cisco's there, Peter has to come. Rich has. I can't just do one match and they're not there. They're part of celebrity boxing.
Deal, man. It's a package.
Well, I do want to say this. I want to share this with the celebrity boxing world. I think this is good stuff for people to know. So just to give you guys a snapshot of how close we are. Prior to the celebrity boxing match I had with Peter Guns, I was fresh off of my divorce. So I was going through a lot. I was very depressed. I was going through a lot. So Peter Guns, mind you, he and I are about to fight each other live in Atlantic City. And he says to me, little bro, come stay with me for a little while. And let me take you out and help you get your mind off your divorce. I said, Peter, we're about to fight in a month. He says, I don't care, man. Just come. So I wound up, people don't realize, I stood with Peter Guns in his beautiful condo in Dallas for like 3 weeks prior to our fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, and to the point where one night we went out, he and I, and we wound up fighting each other at a nightclub.
Yes.
And you can't make this shit up. And then we got off the floor. We kind of helped each other shrug off the dirt and shit, and went back into the bar and just had a drink. And it's crazy. It doesn't make sense, but it does make sense if you're family oriented and you have real brothers, because that's really what we are. We're just brothers. You know what I mean? I love those guys, and I always say I don't know what I would do without them.
Yeah, you
man,
guys are awesome.
Absolute true brothers in arms right there. I'll tell you what, that's amazing to hear. And, exciting to just know that the platform allowed you guys to be able to kind of share it together. Yeah, you banged it out in the ring, but it's all good. Outside of the ropes, nothing but love.
No
now,
doubt.
looking back on the career, which, you're still rocking, you're just getting, started in a lot of ways. But what are you most proud of so far that you can look back and kind of smile at and just be like, man, I did that?
That's a great question as well. I'll tell you this, and I'm not just saying this because I'm on the platform with you guys. I've been on television since 2013. I've recorded music with, countless stars. I've done a lot in my career. But Damon knows this. My son, Cisco Rosado Jr., to this day, runs around the house with my celebrity boxing heavyweight belt. So it's really up there. I can't really quantify. As I've had a lot of big moments in my career. I've done some amazing things, but just because we're having this conversation, I think that to me, because I earned my belt. I had real fights. Shout out to Ohani Noah, who gave me a real fight in Miami. I told Damon, Ohani Noah threw a right hand and punched me in my nose in the first round. I thought my nose was broken. For a month, it was hurting. So I had real fights. I earned that title. And the fact that my son watches it live on pay-per-view and he's like, he calls himself the heavyweight champion as well, as well. I think that's something that, I take very serious and I'm proud of. And, hopefully, we can get this next fight going and I'm victorious on that. And then, right after that, Damon and I had a wonderful evening the other night. Had an amazing dinner, and I expressed to him. I said, Damon, I want the big one. And shout out to NDO champion Roy Jones. I don't know what's happening there, and who's gonna take that one, but I really want to take a step up and really get some real high level competition.
So
I want to challenge myself.
So are you saying you would like to fight the winner of the NDO champ versus Roy Jones Jr.?
Well, look, we're all in the same weight class, right?
Yeah.
And again, shout out to those gentlemen.
You have the belt.
But I have the belt. I'm the champ. At the end of the day, this isn't the Nevada State Athletic Commission. This isn't the WBO. This isn't, the IBF. This is celebrity boxing. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's who and who has what name. I'm the heavyweight champion of celebrity boxing.
This is interesting, man.
I'm undefeated. Yep. Okay, and I mean, no matter who's fighting who and how big their names are, if they really want to take this to the highest level, you got to win the belt, and I'm the person you got to come see for that belt, and I've earned that right. I've fought my way through it. So yeah, I absolutely would love to see the winner of that fight between NDO champion and Roy Jones Jr. He's an idol of mine. I looked up to him, and I have all the respect in the world, but I'm willing to prepare myself and get in the best, condition of my life to go in there and defend my title, even if it's somebody at that level.
Let's go, man! Right here on the Celebrity Boxing
you heard
Podcast.
it here.
You deserve
he
it.
said it.
This
he
is
just
crazy.
called out the winner of that match, NDO champ versus world champ Roy Jones Jr. So that would be a hell of a challenge. But hey, like you said, you're the gatekeeper. You got the belt. If they want it, they got to come through you.
Yeah, we have to do it that way. He's going to do a little tune-up match in Atlanta, So we have a lot going on.
All right, there's a lot to talk about with that. So stay tuned on that. Now, before we let you go today, because it's been great having you on the show.
Absolutely.
Vice versa, guys.
Let me, just ask you another question. You talked about some of the things you're most proud of, and obviously just the idea of seeing your son walking around with that belt has got to be amazing. But what are you looking forward to? What is the thing on your sights other than maybe taking on the winner of the fight we just talked about? What's the big accomplishment on your mountain that you're climbing towards right now? What are you hoping to achieve?
Great question. And the truth of the matter is, I I look at life and entertainment like this, right? Right now, The Rock is the biggest, probably movie star, action star in the world, right? And I always feel like there's always somebody that has to come, right after that person. And that's where my sights are. I want to get into feature films. I want to be an action star. I want to take this TV thing to a whole nother level. Been on Love and Hip Hop for 10 years. On Viacom for 10 years doing TV. And now, I feel like I put in enough work to transition over to scripted. Shout out to my scripted agents, Guild Talent Agency in Atlanta, Georgia. For any producers and directors that are out there that are looking for, a strong Latin male lead in your feature film, but whether it's a love story or action, that's where my goal, that's where my eyes are set right now. I definitely want to take over the film industry.
Hey, man,
Let's
That's
go.
a lofty goal, but I love it.
I love that, man.
Good luck on your journey as you try
LFG.
to get after it. Current world champ right
Cisco, my man.
Been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for stopping in with us. Good luck the rest of the way. I know we're going to be hearing and seeing a lot of you coming up here soon.
You can follow him on Instagram at Cisco Rosado.
There you go. There you go. Thank you, fellas. And thank you, everybody out there in the celebrity boxing world that supports celebrity boxing. And, stay tuned. We got big things coming.
Great to see you, man. Thanks for coming on, Cisco. Let's go. Thanks, guys.
All right, Damon's over here trying to get Cash App from, the crew. In the meantime, Damon, that was a great episode. A lot of fun talking to Cisco.
Yo, I got to give you credit.
Hey, we're doing something here, buddy.
I'm starting to get more into this, man. Come on.
And I appreciate everybody at home that's
LFG
listening and watching the official Celebrity Boxing Podcast. We got a lot more coming. Hope you're ready. Like we said before, there is so much content. We have a lot of stories and a lot of people to talk to.
That was a great story, though.
Scratching the surface.
There's a
No,
lot of stuff
absolutely.
I didn't know. I feel that fellow was really good.
It was very good. He's been a big part of the brand, and we'll be moving forward. Hey, you are now too, because you're tuned in to the official Celebrity Boxing Podcast. Christopher Bruce, Damon Feldman. Stay awesome and stay tuned.
LFG.
Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you spending some time with us. The future sure is bright for official celebrity boxing, and we will be sharing the journey with you every step of the way. As always, I'm your host, Christopher Bruce. Stay awesome and stay tuned. We'll see you next time.